My friends, there are a million reasons why not, but there's one great reason why. It's why I'm the best at my craft. I don't even want to be at the mercy of my own employees. It's why I got my hands in absolutely everything. What if they quit? What if they get sick? What if they get bored? What if they win the lottery? That's literally how I think about everything. That's why I'm in everything. I don't micromanage, but I'm dangerous enough in everything because I don't want a point of failure. Your point of failure is called Google. They literally change it, no matter how evergreen and white hat you've been, they just might decide that video content is part of their macro strategy. So what I always think is when you got something working, always have a nest egg of 20% of your money and energy of building up other things that if God forbid your 80 goes to zero, 98% of them thought I was out of my mind. Didn't believe in it at all. Thought that I'm like the crazy founder and like I'm silly, but like when it becomes real, this, lead. Anytime you have full buy-in from your employees, you're in a dangerous place. It means that there should be some sort of friction from somebody who's leading up in front and sees everything and is driving a company versus people that work in it who are in the, they're different. Like my job is to be like, oh, there's an iceberg. I'm gonna move this way.
If you really want to be successful and be one of those people who are at the top of the ladder of life and everybody wonders how they made it, you need to make sure that you have your goals laid out, planned out, and written down so that you can go out and pursue them with everything that you have. But you need to make sure whatever it is you're pursuing, you genuinely love and you truly have the passion for deep down, because it's going to be hard. It's going to be tough going through this journey of success, trying to accomplish them, and you're going to fail. And it's going to be tough, it's going to be challenging, and it's going to wreck you mentally, physically, and emotionally. You're going to be exhausted at times, and the only thing that's going to keep you going is knowing that once you become successful, you're going to love whatever it is that you were trying to become successful in. So that's the best way to make sure that you reach your goals, is set goals that you genuinely want to achieve and you want to go after. And this way you're not going to need any external motivation, all motivation from within, because you're going to be so excited and so hungry to see what it feels like to have finally made it in whatever area you finally decided to pursue and something that you truly love. Now, it still is going to be a challenge, don't get me wrong. Trying to become successful is one of the hardest things you'll ever do in your entire life, because when you fail, it's going to be incredibly hard to go through and it's going to be tough. It's going to feel like you got punched in the face and knocked down. But when you rise up from that failure, there'll be no better feeling.
I think the reality is, I very much do believe that you find what you're looking for. I grew up in a household where I had probably extremities on both sides. I had certain family members who were just disproportionately negative, and regardless of when something good happened, it was hedged immediately with that's a conspiracy. Just enormous negativity. And then my mom, thank God, because it was the primary person I spent my first 14 years with every day, was so disproportionately positive. And so, I lived the life where it's very obvious to me that you can have a very different perspective on the same situation, because I had two very big different reactions growing up to a lot of things. And I just wish that, it's very easy to find negativity if you're looking for it right now, but it's equally easy to find positivity. Nobody's talking about that. And I have a lot of empathy. I can imagine a lot of people sitting in the audience, for me, it's practical positivity. Perspective is really the only thing. Honestly, as you were talking, I was just thinking about to my morning. Basically, the last hour and a half of my day so far has been just talking about nothing but what I would call micro failures. I break failure into two categories, micro or macro. A macro failure is dying. A macro failure is, filing Chapter 11 and going directly out of business. A macro failure is somebody you care about punching you physically in the face and saying, you're a piece of shit, I will never talk to you again. Mm-hmm. I deem almost everything else a micro failure, and I believe that most people look at micro failures and make them bigger than they are. I've got a lot of things not going well. I have way more things not going well than I have things going well in volume, but my overall is going well. My day-to-day is not. And I think most people have it reversed. Most people don't take the chances, aren't doing the things on a day-to-day basis to protect themselves from the day-to-day shit, the day-to-day failures, but what's happening is they don't realize at a macro they're not moving forward, and so they're losing. I like micro failure. I hate macro failure, like death of your business is bad. But to me, you know what's funny? I'll use a boxing analogy. My favorite boxing, I watch a lot of boxing. I think boxing is a very interesting, and I'm super into mixed martial arts, but I grew up on boxing. I understand it better. And I like watching it because there's so many things that happen in boxing. First of all, what I love about boxing is there's nowhere to hide. You know, like it's super interesting, right? There's nowhere to hide. Number two, there's a scenario in boxing that I love the most. For some reason, there's nothing more interesting to me than watching somebody get knocked down in the first round and then go on to win the fight easily. It's an interesting psyche, right? And I like that, and this is what I'm thinking about it, which is like, here's what's bad in boxing and in business. Going into a fight, getting knocked out in the first round and losing the match. Bad. Getting knocked down and then having the adversity to readjust to what you got caught on and navigating it to easily win a fight is remarkable. That's how I think about entrepreneurship. The reason so many people struggle with entrepreneurship is you have micro failures almost daily, and they're very in your face. You can't hide.
Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like this video, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let us know what you thought down in the comment section below.